Hotel Distil raises a glass to Louisville's bourbon past by bringing refinement and luxury to the famed Whiskey Row. At Hotel Distil, guests will step into a modern space through a historic facade where gracious service and modern amenities flow like the bourbon once barreled on our historic site. Behind the storied facade of the former JTS Brown & Sons barreling warehouse, a refined bourbon culture is celebrated nightly with a complimentary 7:33 p.m. toast as a nod to Repeal Day in the year 1933. Hotel Distil is setting the standard for luxury for Louisville hospitality.
With Liquor Barn, you can shop your favorite bourbon, that perfect bottle of wine, or discover something new. To place an order for pickup or delivery, download the Liquor Barn app, visit liquorbarn.com, or call your nearest Liquor Barn location. Follow us on social media and subscribe to our email list for all the latest news on products, promotions, and events. Liquor Barn, where Kentuckians go to celebrate life. Cheers!
Welcome to the Bourbon Life Podcast, your source for all things bourbon. Join your hosts, Mark and Matt, as they drink and review bourbons, share news about upcoming events, interview the who's who in the bourbon world, and, most importantly, bring you along for the fun of living the bourbon life. Now, here's your hosts, Mark and Matt.
All right, everybody, welcome back for another episode of the Bourbon Life Podcast. I'm your host, Mark, and hey, with me tonight, we are live. Again, we are in downtown Louisville tonight.
That's right. We're
at Hotel Distil, and I'm with my good friend, my podcasting partner in crime, my drinking buddy, Matt. Matt, how you doing, man?
Hey, Mark, I'm doing really great. And this is 3 episodes in a row.
I know.
We are live and on location.
We are live and on location. What is up with that, man?
Your wife is so tired of us. She just keeps kicking us out,
she's like,
setting up all these remote recordings for us just to get rid of us.
Yeah, she's like, get out of here, go do something else. So we are actually on location tonight. We are live in downtown Louisville. We are at Hotel Distil, who is the sponsor of our show tonight. So we appreciate their sponsorship. And it's great. It's connected to Repeal Steakhouse. So we have a great time with John Wadle earlier, recording with him. And last week's show was with him, with Peerless Distilling. And we just had a great time. And it's a beautiful facility here, man. I really like this.
Absolutely. Great to be right downtown.
Yeah.
Right in the action of it all.
I wish this would have been on a Saturday night so we could have spent the night and hung out in Louisville. But it's a Sunday night. And our guests have been so gracious to be here on a Sunday with us, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So speaking of guests, you want to tell everybody who we have with us tonight?
Let's get right down to it.
Do it, man.
She's joining us. Is she the first 3?
The trifecta.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
the
right.
First repeat
That's
offender.
Right. Our first three-peat guest
That's
ever.
right. So she is the founder. We said founder, right? And master
partner.
Partner and master blender for Hidden Barn Whiskey, Jackie Zykan. Welcome back.
Again
and again to the Bourbon Life Podcast.
Thank you. I'm honored to be the first trifecta, the first hat trick. I don't know what we're going
The hat
with.
trick.
But
I like that.
Yeah.
That's right.
The three-peats.
You've got your hat. You can just throw that into the rink like in hockey, right, Matt?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just the hat trick right there, right?
Absolutely.
First 3. We can't wait. Can we say three-peat? Because that's like Pat Riley trademarked or copyrighted that, didn't he? For the Bulls back when they actually won 3 titles in a row back in the. I think so.
Can we call it a three-peater?
A three-peater.
If you have the on the end, does that make it okay to you?
That's right. So Pat Riley and his whoever can't sue us because it's a three-peater. Mm-hmm. But Jackie, we're happy to have you here with us again. And this is our first time doing this live. We've done it twice online and recorded with you, but this is our first one in person.
Yeah, I didn't know it was live until you said it was live in the intro, and I was like, "Oh, okay. Mind your cues, Jax." All right.
No, I'm sorry. I say it's live. we are not live broadcasting, so I will edit this. You can say whatever you want to say, and then it's
don't give me that kind of space because you know it'll get ugly.
We love it, Jackie. So no, we are not broadcasting live. I just feel like we're recording live. I don't know why I say that because obviously...
Well, it's not like we can't record any other way but live.
I know. It's like, how else can we record? But no, this is not going out tonight. So
it's all good.
So we're good. Jackie, you say what you want to say and then say, hey, you know what? At 6:45, I said something I should not have said. Can you please cut that out?
I will try to do my best to avoid edits of that sort. So
that's
we'll be good.
I'm a master editor. You're a master blender. I'm a master editor. So
Okay.
Anything that needs to come out, we can do that.
Perfect.
That's great. Oh my gosh. All right. So we got 2 expressions tonight. So we can go ahead and jump in. Can you tell us what you brought us to sample for the first round on this one?
Yeah, and it's really interesting because Hidden Barn is obviously a much smaller brand than the world that I came from previously.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so there's not a whole lot of it. And it's very weird to me because I want to be able to go and like share it with everyone. And people are like, bring a bottle. And I'm like, I don't have one. Like there are no bottles. It's a completely different perspective when you are actually like part of an ownership of a brand. You're like, no, just sell the bottle. We need to sell the bottles. Don't just start,
don't get
high on your own supply over here. Like, no,
Right.
But this is my last bottle of the first batch ever that I had to crack open. No, it's meant to be drank. It's
All
there
right.
to be drank.
All right.
This is the perfect way for it to be drank.
All
It's
right.
to be shared with you guys. But we've got batch 1 and batch 2.
Okay.
We are on we've already done a 3rd batch, and we've done a Madeira finished product as well.
Okay.
Really sad I didn't have one of those to bring with me for this because it's got this like really cool like Lay's barbecue potato chip back note on it. It's
Nice.
really interesting. But there's more coming. There's all kinds more coming. I think what is today? The 2nd of October?
Yes, it is.
Batch 4 is bottling this week.
Is it really?
So,
Okay.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
great. Because we saw you at Bardstown at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival.
Did you taste it there?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Matt,
Then you've
did
had
you?
3 and the Madeira finish.
I had batch 3. I did not have the Madeira.
I did not
There
have-
was a huge line. And
Yeah.
I got batch 3, so I didn't get the Madeira either. So
Okay.
I did get to taste batch 3, but yeah, I didn't have a bottle.
Just
of it,
have to
obviously.
do more Madeira.
There you go.
Darn.
Definitely.
Right.
Oh, shucks.
So, all right. So, tell us about what we got poured up in terms of the. Can you talk about the mash bill and everything
I
with
can
this?
talk
And-
about everything
yeah,
with
yeah.
this,
Tell
whatever
us.
you
Give
need.
give us the lowdown on it all.
So it's pretty straightforward. Hidden Barn exists to kind of, I don't know. I got to be careful with my words here. I don't want to say cherry pick, but like, I guess isn't that what I'm doing if I'm going into a bunch of barrels and being like, I want these and they make sense together, to capture kind of the essence of a smaller producer. And so series is how we're rolling this out. Series 1, Series 2, Series 3.
Right.
This is Series 1. This is what we're starting with. And this is all coming from the Neely family distillery up in Sparta, Kentucky.
Okay.
So the liquids you guys have, these 2 different glasses, these are both 7-barrel batches, actually. They're tiny.
Yeah,
they're tiny.
okay.
Small batch.
That's a little bit of a change from
Oh my gosh, yeah. Well, it's
Yeah.
a different perspective now, right?
Right.
Because anyone who's ever like heard me speak on single barrels, I love the uniqueness of a single barrel, the snowflake element of each
Sure.
barrel to barrel, same day production, same everything. Just the barrel in and of itself shines because they're so different. And so when you have a smaller sized batch, you are really appreciating and sort of elevating all of those differences together instead of just trying to make something taste the same time and time again. It's about appreciating the nuances with this more so.
Sure.
So this first one you guys have, batch 1, this is 106 proof. That is
Okay.
barrel strength.
Okay.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, in modern times, we think barrel strength, we think like 135 plus and kind of in
Right.
that zone. But the entry proof for these is 110.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they're going into that barrel super low. They're coming off the still super low too. They're coming off at 127. So there's a lot of viscosity in there still. I got to take a sip. I'm like going to just like keep talking and not take a sip.
So we talk about the nose first. So we're gonna have to.
Okay.
I know. I'm sorry.
That's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
Let's go through the
Yes.
traditional way of tasting with.
I'm gonna toss it over to Matt on the
Matt.
nose. I know Matt's the expert, right? Other than
Expert.
Jackie.
Yeah, right. Hard to call me an expert
You're
at this
sitting
table
with
right
Matt
now.
is the
Yeah.
expert.
No,
I'll
he's
give
not.
him that.
Yeah, it's hard to be like, yeah, Jackie, let me throw it to Matt because he's my whiskey expert, right?
It's got a lot of the really great notes that we look for, the caramels, vanillas, and it's almost it's got like an element of, and I mean this in the best possible way, it's like a little unrefined. It's not like a smooth everything that you want and expect. It's got like a little bit to kind of cut at you to get you thinking a little more. There's some heat, there's some spice in it as well.
And this is, what was the proof on it?
106.
106, yeah. Which to me doesn't nose. I mean, I know Matt said there's a little bit of spice to it. I get a little spice, but I don't get a lot of heat off that nose on there. I get a little bit, it's like, great. What's the age on it? I didn't ask
This
you
is
that.
like 4.5 year
4.5 year
Okay.
old. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like some notes of pecan.
Yeah.
I smell
I kind of
Nice
get,
pecan.
it's kind of funny to say this, but it's like a, almost like a frosted flake where you get a little bit of corn, but you get sweetness
Yes.
on that. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. I'm so glad you said that because batch 1 specifically does have a lot of grain character to it. And I think that in modern day, we think of like grain as, oh, it's young. Oh, it's not done yet. Oh, wait, that shouldn't be there. It should be
Right.
why? The grain is important too in the entire process. And
Right.
you can get grain as a flavor profile into a blend and do it the right way where it's interesting and you see every part of the production process in the glass and it balances and it's not just like, oh, it just smells
Yeah.
like corn whiskey.
Yeah. And when I said what's the age on it, it was like, it's not because it smells young. It's just because I picked up the grain, but also with that sweetness to it, it was just like, it's just like a frosted flake in a glass. So I do. It's very
I love
nice.
that.
So what else? Anything else that we missed on that, Jackie, that you want to throw in? I mean, since this is your, it is your blend. So we'll
I
take
think
your opinion.
It's interesting that you picked up on the pecan note. That's definitely there, and it wasn't necessarily the first thing that came to mind, but like now that you've mentioned, I'm like, oh yeah. But apricot is something that's a very common denominator throughout all of Series 1.
Okay.
So that's always going to be there, but it just, it's different. Like you can't pour a glass of Hidden Barn and compare it to any of the large scale producers or to a lot of people's stuff because
Right.
with that super low distillation proof, all pot still, wild yeast literally caught from a bucket hanging on a tree
That's why
in Appalachia.
That's a question for later, Jackie.
Okay, sorry.
Don't jump ahead.
I'm jumping ahead. I get excited. I'm sorry.
No,
But
it's okay. Yeah, but
it's interesting and it's funky, but I don't mean funky in like an earthy way because that's not a positive. Like mold and earth and mushroom notes in whiskey. Everybody listen to me right now. PSA. Mushroom's not a note you want in your whiskey ever.
All right, Chad. I know
Say
you're
it
listening.
again.
Chad, I know you're listening to this episode. So did you hear what Jackie just said?
Who's Chad?
Chad, he
Oh no, does he make mushroom whiskey?
he does
Okay.
he does some reviews for us. But he also sits in and does like when we do crew episodes or like a whole crew. He's part of the Bourbon Life crew. But he loves the funk. He loves so anything mushroomy, whatever. Chad's gonna be like all over it. So Chad, I know you're listening. So Jackie had a message for you right there, right, buddy?
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second, Chad, because you got two sources of a mushroom note in your whiskey. One is that the grain was moldy in the first place, which you should have caught that because you should check your grain before you grind it up and actually use it. The other is if it is a natural cork enclosure on the bottle. That's your other source of mold.
Okay.
You can have corked bottles of whiskey, much like you can with wine. It does happen.
Okay.
Stats, I want to say, supposedly are 1 in a million corks end up corking the liquid inside, but I think it's much higher than that. Personally.
Interesting. I did not know that. So there you
Yeah.
go, Chad, from the
Chad.
expert herself, Jackie Zykan. She just told you. So I cannot wait to do another crew episode in 2 weeks with Chad and make sure.
I love it. No, and there's some really great, like really, really spicy black tea notes that kind of circle around on the nose with it too.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot going on in
There
it.
is. There really is. And at 4.5 years, and the color on it is beautiful, and it coats the glass. So this is, I'm assuming, non-chill filtered, right? No
Non-filtered
filter,
at all.
Yeah. Okay.
No rinse, no
Yeah.
filter, just straight batch to bottle.
Very nice. Beautiful color as well in the glass and clings to the glass. Great legs on it. Very, very nice. Yeah. Appreciate that. So, all right, Jackie. So let's talk. We talked off air before we started because, hey, everybody wants to know. And me personally, I mean, you're a 3-time guest. And we've had you on twice, obviously before, and we shared your stories. And I'll refer people, let me make sure, episodes 34 and episodes 120 that we've had Jackie on. So if people want to know Jackie's backstory, please listen to those episodes and you'll get that. So let's kind of jump in and talk about, because let me tell you, July 1st, I think a lot of people, myself included, were really surprised.
Really?
There was an announcement. There was a press release that came out
Yeah,
that said Jackie is leaving Old Forester. So
it's so interesting to me because the people that know me in like everyday life, non-bourbon life, like they knew, like, you know what I mean? And then like
Sure.
so many people were shocked, just from like a public facing standpoint. I guess it was kind of surprising because it's not a job that you leave.
Right.
It's a job that people constantly ask me, how do I get your job? It's not one to be like, oh, just going to discard it and, hope for the best. It was a hard decision because there's a lot of factors at play here, right? Like I am the sole moneymaker in my household. My 8-year-old can't work, right? So like from a single mom perspective, it's like, crap, like how am I gonna like afford my mortgage? And like I'm giving up my pension plan and I'm giving up all this. Like the benefits alone made it a very hard decision. But it was great because it forced me to have a real deep conversation with myself of like, what is it that's most important to you? Where does your sense of even empowerment in this industry come from? Is it you or is it the brand you're working for? Because Old Forester's an amazing brand and Brown-Forman is a great company, but it's not my brand. It's not my story.
Right.
I'm telling someone else's story, so I'm always going to be caught within the framework of what that is to best serve what that should be. This was scary, but I don't regret it at all. I don't.
Well,
I'm happy.
And that's awesome. And we were talking before we started, you know, because I told you, working in a law firm and I was like the managing attorney and had the stress. Totally different, obviously, than what you're doing. But at the same time, the stress level is the thing you feel, the intense pressure that you feel. So when it happened, because we had done a podcast with the crew and we actually talked about it amongst ourselves. We're like, well, so what do you think? And I'm like, kudos to Jackie for I think in my understanding, my feeling was that, Jackie wants to be Jackie's own person and probably felt some stress with that job, but also just wanted the opportunity to have some freedom. I mean, is that?
Yeah, no, I think that's definitely applicable because like you're at the mercy of everyone else that came before you. You're not really ever paving anything for yourself in that setting.
Right.
And post-maturation is and has always been my focus. I have never, as much as I can explain all day long up and down and like actually like work on the distillation side, it's not where my heart lies. I want to just be able to paint the picture. I don't want to make the paint. Right. If that makes sense. So
no, that makes perfect sense.
That opportunity just wasn't space for that there because there's an interesting shift kind of happening in American whiskey right now where we're kind of like sloughing off this idea that the word blender or blending whiskey is negative. I think it connotates a lot back to like Seagram 7 or like, cutting something with Nutri-Grain Spirit or whatever.
Right.
It's something that old world whiskey, they respect it just fine, but American whiskeys, it's just now kind of coming into play of like, oh yeah, there's a place for that in this industry. And that's where I wanted to be. And that wasn't an option. So I had to make a choice to just do it on my own.
Well, it's funny because I read an article and I think you were quoted as saying that, it's like painting, but painting in blue. And like you could do a portrait and it's the blue, but then there's another painting that's just a different color of blue, but you want to be able to paint in red and green and other colors. But where you were, I mean, there was limitations on that.
Of course, yeah. And I mean, anyone who works in a large company knows, like, if you want to get anything done, there's 13 levels of approval on it. And like, there's just a lot. I don't know. I think it's been a very long-standing thing with BF that a lot of people don't leave BF. Like they stay there. You're there for the long haul. That's just not how I am as a person. Like I take a chapter and I milk it for what I can, and then I'm ready for the next and just keep evolving on and on. So I think they knew that too. I think they knew a long time ago, like, oh, she's not going to be here. She's not going to retire from here. Don't plan the retirement party for her. But that's okay. And that's okay. Like whatever anyone decides out there, maybe you are a person that you need to stay somewhere for 30 years. Like good for you. I envy that quality in you. I don't have it.
Yeah, that's the thing, because I'd done my own thing for a while as an attorney and then went to work for other people. And I have found comfort, and I hate to say that because I think I gave up a little bit. And I think that's what you obviously want to express and want to feel and want to have. So I think that's great. Matt, let's jump in and talk about the taste.
Oh, I didn't know we were on that point already.
Oh, that's right. Because we got 2 expressions, so we should probably wait till the next round, shouldn't we?
Sure.
Dang it.
Okay.
See? Man,
so
man.
No, just taste. Whatever, just taste it.
Man,
we'll
just
pour
taste
more
it.
for the third
Just
one,
taste it.
right?
Yeah.
Like we'll blend them together for the third one. There we go.
There you
See?
go. We
solved it.
We have a master blender. So
That's right.
There we go. We could do that. It's whatever.
So
you
that's
do.
got to be a tough conversation to have. You have to really learn how to talk to yourself.
Yes.
And how to make yourself listen when you're at a position where all of your needs are being met, where you feel comfortable. Oh well, all your need,
financial need, monetary
correct.
needs.
Yes,
Sure.
yes. All the the needs that keep the surface of the world spinning, but not the underlying core. It's a tough conversation to have. So did you find that that conversation with yourself and taking off from Brown Foreman and starting with Hidden Barn were these opportunities that lined up at the same time, or was this you were lining up and looking for a place to go right away? Or how am I trying to phrase this?
I don't know how you're trying to phrase
That's
it.
okay. I got you. Let's try this.
Look, Jackie's got it, man.
It's not a decision you wake up on a Tuesday and you're like, today, I'm sure it'll work out, but I'm out of here. Like, no, like you don't just like, you know. So I had explored a lot of opportunities leading up to this, and had reached the point with those as well of being like, well, this sounds great and it's new, but it's the same. It's going to be the same. It's all going to be the same and same and same. This was something that was completely different. It was not even on my radar at all. I knew the project was underway because of friendships I had with the other partners, but it wasn't something that I ever even thought of as being an option, because I'm like, I'm going to take a massive pay cut. I'm going to, you know, like, this is just silly. Like, why? This is dumb. But it got to the point where I felt right about it. And that sounds weird to say. I think a lot of times we make decisions just logically and we just rely on that, and like, you make your pros and cons list and blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, if you sit with it and really feel in your body how imagining yourself in that position makes you feel, it felt right. So I was like, I'm going to trust it, and fingers crossed. Trust me, like, I was sick for a week leading up to putting in my resignation letter. I was like, oh my God. Are they going to be mad? Are they going to be like, is everyone going to be like, what the hell? Am I going to just disappear off the face of the earth? Like, what did I really think was going to happen? All of a sudden I'd be like sleeping under a bridge somewhere, like overnight. Like, no, but the amount of positive support and encouragement that the bourbon community just out of nowhere just like seeped up made me know that I made the right decision too. I was like, okay, it's not, maybe they do like me and not just Old Forester. I don't know. Like, that's a possibility. Like, let's try it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that's great. And from where I stand as a bourbon enthusiast, I mean, I consider there are certain people in this industry that are bourbon rock stars. And I know that's kind of funny to say that, but in my,
it is funny to me. Go ahead. Keep going.
But in my opinion, I mean, you are one of the people that you're extremely recognizable. And I know, I mean, you know, I've read some articles where you're like, it's Old Forester 24/7. It's like, okay, yes, I'm at work yes, I'm at a work event, but hey, I'm at the grocery store, or hey, I'm at wherever, and everybody recognizes Jackie Zykan. And it's like, I mean, you're very recognizable and people know who you are in the bourbon industry. So it's like a rock star status in the bourbon world.
Oh my God. My dad, so my parents still live in St. Louis, and I just drove through there. They watched the dog while I was in Oregon. And he's like, I went to the dentist while you were in Oregon, and there was a lady next to me who heard them call my name. And she goes, are you related to Jackie Zykan?
Oh my
And
gosh.
I was like, no, I don't need it. Like, in Louisville, I get it because it's a small town and everyone here's bourbon focused anyways. Like, I don't need it to bleed into that. And he was like, yeah, she was really excited. She's going to some event you're doing. And she was like shaky. I was like, Dad, I was like, next time, just say no. Just say you're not.
I don't know who she is. Who is she?
Who?
Yeah.
Never
Must be
heard
a
of her.
Relative somewhere down the road.
Wrong Zykan.
See,
There's a lot of Zykans out there, you know, wrong one.
If somebody asked me that about my daughter, I'd be like signing. I'd be like, give me your dentist or whatever. Who's at the dentist? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Give me a magazine. Let me sign that.
Stop.
Jackie's dad.
He takes it in stride, but like, he was never into whiskey. I wouldn't even consider him into whiskey until I want to say until the 117 series came out, and like our last name was on a bottle, and he was like, wait a minute. And then he saw Neat randomly one day on Netflix and was like, you did that? And I'm like, yeah, I'll be over here. Like, I live in Kentucky, you live in Missouri. I love my parents to death. I really do.
Sure.
But like, daily life doesn't overlap as much as if like you were like in the same town, and like, I appreciate the privacy. Can I even say that I have privacy with it anymore? I don't know.
I was going to say, I mean, I can't imagine that you do have much, especially here in town, around here, that you do. So it's got to be tough. It had to play. That probably played into the decision, I would think.
It does.
To maybe be able to step back just a little bit, and just do what you enjoy to do, which obviously you love blendings, right? So
yeah.
But people are still going to know who you are.
I know, but I remember going to Target and my kid, this was like 4 years ago, had a complete meltdown. And I looked over and I could see some CE fill in the blank from BF in one corner of my eye. And then I see someone else that I had done like a media interview with. And I was just like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, but I mean, like, I don't know. It's just like a white noise stress. It's just a weird pressure you carry around at all times. Of like, don't mess up, don't give someone the finger while you're driving because they might actually know who you are or like work for the company. And it's like, I want to be able to give people the finger and I want to when I'm driving.
You know what?
That's why I left.
I made the mistake. My license plate says BRBNLF, Bourbon Life, right? So I'm thinking as I drive down the road and I flip people off, and I'm like,
nah, see, you can't do that anymore.
Oh, it's Bourbon Life? I always thought it was Bourbon Elf.
Bourbon Elf. Yeah, that's me.
Or Barb Inloff. So
I'm going to ask you this question for the final question for the round, Jackie.
Yes.
Because I was reading an article. I have to look at my notes, and it said you had said that you're constantly worried about validation, and that over time, it really does force you to start thinking within a box. So can you kind of talk about that just a little bit? What that meant for you in terms of how you were what you wanted to do versus what you were doing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not in the industry to be recognized at Target when my kid has a freak out. I'm not in the industry to build a 1 million case brand and then sell it and like go, I don't know, build a house and have a bison farm. Like that's not what I'm in this for. I legitimately am in it because I find the process so interesting and the nuances so interesting. And I love, love, love when people drink whiskey and it just reminds them of someone, something, somewhere. It's a situation. I'm not the person that sits there and is like, oh, let me name off every single note. Like that's fine because that's part of the exploration. But like what really, I don't know. I just love it. And so the goals of where I was, I don't think necessarily aligned with that much of a personal input as the brand quadrupled in size, literally, since I started on it. So this lets me take a step back and just go, okay, it's okay to be just what I am with it. And I don't have to follow in anybody's footsteps or like any shoes lay before me. I don't need that. I can just go, I don't know. I just think it's cool. I don't know.
Oh, I think it's very cool. I think it's it's, one way to say it is you got pretty big balls to do that. I mean, honestly, to be able to step back and say, this is a decision I want to make, and it's the best thing for me. And to be able to be able to leave where you work, like you said. I mean, people would come up and say, "Oh, I'd love to have your job. How do I get it?" But they don't really know until they have it what it really means. And it's just, kudos to you, Jackie, seriously, for making that decision to do it. So
thank you. Yeah, that was always a weird question. Like, how do I? People sometimes would be like, "Oh, what should I tell my daughter wants to get into bourbon? What should I tell her?" And I'm like, if she wanted to get into bourbon so bad, she would be asking me herself, step 1. And step 2, tell her, do whatever makes you happy, whether it's bourbon or not. That's the goal there. I didn't end up here because I grew up going, one day I'm going to blend whiskey. Like that never happened. I fell into it because I made choices that felt right for me. And here I am. And that goes with any industry, with anyone ever.
That's great. I don't think we could close out the first segment any better than that.
Exactly.
Right? Can we can't drop the mics. Because these are expensive mics, so we're not going to drop them.
Yeah.
Wait. There you go. There was a little mic drop, right?
Nice.
All right. So let's take a quick break. We'll get a word from our sponsors. We'll be back in just a minute with more with Jackie Zykan, the master blender from Hidden Barn.
Spirits of French Lick crafts their spirits using only the finest agricultural product that has defined character, following their motto, respect the grain. They lead the way in representing the quality of the Hoosier artisan distilling process while paying tribute to its inseparable past. By implementing best practices from those early times, combined with modern touches, Spirits of French Lick has created a truly unique place in the industry. Spirits of French Lick products are distributed throughout Indiana, Kentucky, and Missouri, and can also be purchased online through Sealbox at sealbox.com. Visit spiritsoffrenchlick.com to learn more information and make sure to follow them on Facebook and Instagram.
The Stave Restaurant is a bourbon lover's paradise right here in the heart of bourbon country. Located at 5711 McCracken Pike in Millville, Kentucky, between Castle and Key and Woodford Reserve, Chef Kyle Klatka prepares amazing food each day that features an elevated Kentucky-inspired cuisine. With a full-service bar, great bourbon flights, and signature cocktails, The Stave is the perfect place to catch up with friends after a fun-filled day of touring local distilleries. Be sure to check them out online at thestavekentucky.com or at Instagram and Facebook at The Stave Kentucky.
All right, everybody, welcome back for the second round of the Bourbon Life Podcast. I'm your host, Mark, with you live. I shouldn't say live. We are recording tonight on location at Hotel Distil in downtown Louisville. They are presenting sponsor for our show tonight, so we appreciate Hotel Distil. I'm with my awesome mountain climbing, Ironman running, rock climbing, drinking buddy, Matt. Matt, how you doing, man?
Hey, Mark, I'm doing great. And I wouldn't be anywhere else because I love being here. And also, you were my ride.
I was going to say, you'd be hard pressed to get back to Lexington tonight from Louisville, right?
You would make me run back.
I would. You could probably run faster than I can drive back, though, man. You're like a 720.
No, I've seen how you drive.
Yeah, well, you did, yeah.
You would think with that customized license plate, you would be a little more careful, but no.
No, when I turn on Sirius Turbo and, there's a little bit of corn, or there's a little bit Disturbed, or there's whatever playing, then that foot just goes, yeah. Because it's the same foot.
Wait, was that a joke?
No, what? Why?
You? But you're so, sweet.
Are you kidding me? Oh.
No, I'm not.
Thank you.
You should just get in the car with him.
I'm just telling you.
It's just a different experience. Yeah. It's a whole different reality.
Yeah, but I love Sirius XM Turbo. I love the 90s the 90s 2000 hardcore rock. Oh yeah, that's my
Did
jam.
you go to Louder Than Life?
I did not. I know because I wanted to. I should have. But my wife is not as big of an enthusiast as I am. So, and she does, she'll listen to it. She'll tolerate it, I should say. But yeah, when I'm in the car by myself, even with Matt, I subject him to it because, Matt is not a 90s metal.
I can appreciate parts of it.
But yes, I do. I get in the car and the volume goes up and it goes over to Sirius Turbo, and it's all about Korn or Disturbed or POD or whoever. Big fan. Linkin Park, Papa Roach, all that good stuff.
I did not expect that at all. That is so great. Oh,
all right.
Okay.
See, we kind of got off topic there, but okay. So Jackie, back in the day, I was an extreme sports agent. So I represented bike riders and skateboarders. So I used to go to the ESP and the X Games. I don't know if you watched ever.
Yeah.
The Gravity Games from NBC. So I would go all over the country and had athletes that were my clients, and they were skateboarders and bike riders. Yeah. So that was the thing, and they loved that music. So it was just part of the culture, and I just got into it. Because I was a kid of the 80s, so hair metal was my thing. I loved listening to hair metal. And then the 90s and 2000s came along, and I know, Jackie.
No, I'm cracking up because you have such a pleasant voice and demeanor, and I'm just picturing a completely different you, at Warped Tour, just losing your mind, right? So, no, it's great. I love it.
All right. Well, Matt, you should probably tell everybody who we have with us if they haven't already figured it out.
Absolutely. Back again. Jackie Zykan is with us, and she's here with Hidden Barn. We are tasting through. Are we doing? We get the palate here on.
We are doing yes, we're doing the palate and the finish on batch 1, right?
Yeah, batch 1.
Yeah. So Matt, why don't you jump in and tell us what you're picking up on this one, man? Because we'll switch over to batch 2 in mid segment here. We're on the fly, man. We just take it as it comes, right?
Yeah.
So what do you get? What are you getting?
It's got those nice pot distilled notes to it, where again there's this beautiful roughness about it. That's not. I don't like to ever use the word smooth because
right.
It's that word we try to avoid sometimes, but it's good. It's got honey. I taste a little bit of something herbal, almost little mint, little sweet tea coming right on the front of the palate too, and then it leads to a little nuttiness and some oak with it as well. But it's good. It blended really well.
I get a very nice. There's a sweetness to it. I talked about the frosted flakes. Mm-hmm. On the nose, and it still that comes across to me. I still get kind of that grain forward with the sweetness to it, but then the spice really jumps back in.
Yeah.
So I get it. So this is like a 70-20-10. Is that right?
This is a 70-20-10.
Okay.
It is.
That's what. See my notes, Matt. My notes.
And again,
impeccable.
Yeah. My notes are right on. What can I say, Matt? So 20% rye. So you expect that little bit of spiciness. I get a nice hug off of this one as well. So I do get, it's not a burn, but I get a nice little hug on the end of this. Jackie, you look so intent over. I wish we.
I'm just
sometimes
thinking
I wish I could do video, but
yeah, you can take video.
no, we don't have video. But I'm just saying, you're just like your
Should I
facial
just
expression was
set
like.
I know.
Yeah.
I have no control over my face.
No, that's
like
fine.
I am the best candidate for Botox of all time. It would probably help me hold relationships a lot longer if I
I'm
just
so happy.
froze
Look at
my
me.
face.
But no, I could just see you just had this look on your face, like you're so deep in thought
I
on this
am.
after you tasted it. So you got it. Share with us what you were thinking there.
Well, okay, so, and this has been the experience with every single one of these bottles that we have put out, that it's not that it's volatile in that it's unstable. It's just that it is very reactive with air. And if you sit with a glass of Hidden Barn long enough, you will have drank 13 different whiskeys within one session. And so like coming back to the nose of it after we'd already talked through that, it's a totally different animal. And there's like cherry coming through and like the sweet tea note is huge with this. And I was sitting there sipping through it and like, I'm coming from world of column still only into world of, at this moment, pot still only, right?
Mm-hmm.
And pot still has always had this, I know, like I should be able to articulate myself better. But for some reason, there is this note that comes with pot still whiskey. It's almost a soapy note. It's not like soapy cilantro, but it kind of is. But it's like this weird, like I'm like using my hands to describe it, and like no one can see
That's okay.
But like it's the underside of the glass is a soapy note to it. I don't know. Just I'll be over here.
That's okay.
Go on amongst yourselves. I'll be over here. Just
talk among Jackie's all the cleft right now, right? So Matt and I are just going to talk amongst ourselves.
So, wild yeast.
Yes,
what
let's
does
talk
that?
about that.
What does that present? How does that work?
How does that work? He says. Well,
It's really unique to do. How are we tasting it in the product?
So, for Series 1, the wild yeast is that's just part of the technique that Royce Neely has implemented for his whiskeys out there.
Mm-hmm.
His approach to production is very, I hate saying old school or rustic or like whatever, like, but it is very rural whiskey. It is not an urban whiskey. That doesn't make sense either, but we're going to go with it.
No, it
but
does.
like,
I mean, that makes sense because we could talk about Royce, but keep going.
Or like every part of it is intentional. Every part of it is done with a lot of thought and a lot of effort. It's very much made in the hardest, most inefficient way you possibly can. Let's be honest. Like you can order a jug of yeast online, or you can go out and traipse through the backwoods in Kentucky and hang buckets off of trees and then come back for it later. Wild yeast is, yeast is yeast is yeast. It's going to get you to the same place. You're going to get booze out of it. But it's a complete gamble that you do not know until you've actually like gone through an entire vat of mash, and then you're kind of like, and then you really don't know how that's going to react until after maturation, right? So it's like, well, what you get is what you get, which is scary for a lot of people, I'm sure. But my job is very, very fun in that element because batch to batch, run to run, they're entirely different, and not that one's good, one's bad. It's just different.
Yeah.
And so a lot of those really nice esters that come through and a lot of those fruit notes that come through, sometimes they're from the yeast, sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're just from tannic acid left in the barrel that in the presence of alcohol is going to give you esters over time. Like there's all kinds of different ways to get there. But it's different for me and it's hard for me because the one thing I don't get in our whiskey is banana. And that's the were you going to get on that?
I was
Oh my
just going to say, Jackie, I don't pick up any banana.
No, so I'm like, am I doing it right? Like, I don't know. Like, have I messed
just
it
sitting here
up?
thinking, I was like, I cannot wait to cut in and say, I don't taste banana.
No,
There's
it's
no
banana-less whiskey.
There is no banana
Yeah.
in this. All right, can I just tell you? All right, I'm just going to kind of digress because I don't drink a certain whiskey that's made out of Lynchburg, Tennessee.
Okay.
And it's not. It's not. Well, it's just the whole Kentucky Tennessee thing and the whole Tennessee whiskey bourbon thing, right? I'm a lifelong Kentuckian, so Tennessee can just whatever. No offense to you Tennesseans, but UT football and basketball, I can't support them. And
That's fair.
Anything from Lynchburg, I just can't support, right? Because it's Tennessee whiskey. But over last week, I did buy a bottle of barrel proof. This particular whiskey with a nice, beautiful bottle and a gold label on it, and it's barrel proof, single barrel proof. And as I was drinking it, it took a couple drinks, and then a few minutes afterwards, I was like, "What? I taste a little banana
Surprise!
on this. And I was like,
yeah, you do.
oh, wait a second. Of course, yeah, I know why I taste banana on this. I was really surprised. I mean, honestly, I wasn't expecting it, but it was just like this after a few minutes, I was like, there's a little bit of banana. So yeah, kind of funny.
It's always there. It's a flagship note. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's the marker. But for a certain whiskey that is made in Tennessee and not Kentucky, I always thought that it tasted like if you like flattened out a banana Laffy Taffy and rolled it over a dill pickle and like dipped it in honey and ate it. But what the one you're talking about though is like that, but then you like put a bow tie on it. Like it's like a fancier version of that. So
Yes.
yeah, I don't know. But like I love all of the flavors in all of the whiskeys.
Right,
But
yeah.
it is a note out there. If you are excited to try Hidden Barn and you're like, oh well, Jackie came from a different brand that
Right.
had banana. If you like the banana bread, then just buy Old Forester instead, because like we don't
Sure.
have it.
This is not-
We're all
yeah.
out of banana bread over here.
Yeah.
Sorry, sold out.
Yeah, and it was funny because we recorded another show earlier today, and our guest said, "Hey, you know what? Here's the thing. If because we were talking about having you on the show, and he knows you, right? So we were talking about it, and he's like, you know, if people want the other brand, then go buy the other brand. He's like, but what they're doing now, it's not that brand. So don't be surprised when you taste it and it's not that brand. So it's like, I mean, I think that was the best way to say it. It's like it's something totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about, let's see, Matt, should we finish this one up and move on to the next
Sure.
one? What do you think? All right. So what do you think? Final thoughts on this one?
It's got a really nice finish, super oily mouth coating. That's like the first thing I noticed on the palate was like immediately just this really great coating, like a nice water slide of good whiskey coating.
Yes, I love it.
It's a water slide of whiskey with sans the banana.
That's right. No banana hammocks on this one.
Oh my gosh.
It's nice heat coming through on the finish. Nice
Yeah.
lingering heat that really catches the front of my palate, especially kind of creeps from the back to the front.
Yeah, it really does.
That good cinnamon.
Yeah. It's I'm kind of surprised because the more it has set out that, like you said, because we've been 45 minutes now doing this, so that the nose changed quite significantly, but also just on the palate. I mean, the linger on that, it's like every time I take a sip, it's like a couple minutes later, I'm still tasting that nice spiciness, 20% rye. So it still comes through. And again, at the higher proof 106, it's not super hot. It's very easy to drink. Would you agree, Matt?
Yeah.
I don't want to say smooth. I don't want to be like, oh, it's a smooth whiskey.
I think it packs a little more heat than the proof would suggest.
Okay. Yeah, very good. So let's move on to the second batch that we have here, Jackie.
Oh,
So,
yes. Second batch.
You
All
want
right.
to tell us about that?
Sure. So this is batch 2. It's 110 proof. It is 7 barrels as well. It's also coming from Neely. It's a different flavor profile. I'm not going to do any spoilers. We'll get into it. But basically, it's just every single one of these small batches is going to be unique.
Okay. So the
And
thing
that's
is,
the
again,
point.
same mash bill, right? 70, 20, 10.
Same mash bill.
Same age. On
Same age
everything.
range, same
Yeah.
all of that, just totally different selection of
And
barrels.
so this is wild yeast as well. So everything is wild yeast. That's
It's so bizarre, right?
we're gonna have
like
to.
no one does that.
We have to. Yeah. That's just.
You guys want to go on a yeast hunt?
You said something about Appalachian,
Yeah, like you hang a
So-
bucket off a tree and catch the yeast
but
in
no,
the
wait.
air.
Is that like
Neely's-
snipe hunting?
But
Oh my god, do you know about snipe hunting?
are you kidding me? Yeah.
I
Are you
haven't
kidding?
talked
might have
about
been
Have you ever
snipe
been
hunt.
snipe hunting?
I have, and I have led people astray on snipe hunts as well many times in my life.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you very much.
Well, hey, I tell you what, if any of our listeners are out there and they want to come to Lexington or Louisville, I'd be
Yeah.
happy to drive over. And Jackie, you can, if you want to meet up with us, we can take any of our listeners snipe hunting anytime.
We will go on a
That would be so-
yeast and snipe.
A
The good
yeast
old
and
yeast
snipe.
and snipe hunt. Yeah.
You don't get to do those that often. That would be a lot of fun. So we'll talk about Neely in a second, but they're in Sparta, right?
They are, yeah.
All right. So is that where he's collecting it, or is he going somewhere else?
He's going a little bit deeper in, because Sparta, if you've ever been to Sparta, it's
I've
kind
been
of,
through like kind of.
That's what everyone
right?
says,
On
yeah.
71, right?
Yeah.
You just kind of drive.
most
through.
people have just been through.
You just drive through Sparta. You don't
Yeah.
go to Sparta.
There's like a racetrack there.
There was.
I think there's.
Now it's like
Yeah.
a Ford truck that can't get chips for their
I
trucks.
will say this though, that there is, I don't know if it's technically Sparta or what the name of the town is, but the closest town, there is a restaurant, and I can refer to restaurant names because they don't carry alcohol, so it's not illegal for me to give account favoritism. But it's called Jules. The best catfish you will find in Kentucky, hands
Really?
down.
Huh.
Oh, not even close. The best. Go to Jules and get catfish.
They're not catching that in the Ohio River, are they?
If they are, I'm even more impressed because it is delicious. Hands down, the best catfish ever. So yeah.
All right. So, gosh, we got to get back on track now.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
let's talk about that. Yeah, we're on batch 2, Matt.
Okay.
What are you picking up in terms of the nose, man?
For the higher proof, I think actually there's a little less heat on the nose on this one. Almost, I get some stone fruit, like apricots, maybe a little bit on the nose, and then there's like a sweet nougat or like a pulled taffy cream type nose and aroma, almost a little smoky too.
I don't know if I can top that one, man, but I don't get that. I don't get the frosted flake off of this one as much. It is different, Matt. I agree with that one. So, but beyond that, I can't really top what Matt says. So, Jackie, what about you?
What about you? I think everything Matt said is really, really spot on. It definitely is a lot tighter aromatically.
You're so good,
It's
Matt.
not as volatile for sure, even though it is higher alcohol. But there is that like very like sweet, that nougat descriptor is just perfect for it. It's like it's just very generic sweetness that comes through. But this one does not have the grain note that the first one had. I mean, even the batch 1, like retro nasally, there's like fresh, like barely ripe corn that comes through on it. Like you taste the corn in batch 1.
Sure.
This one,
No.
it is not.
And it's
there.
funny because it's a good point you said too, because this one is higher proof, but it does not nose. I don't think it noses as high proof as the first one, right?
No.
Okay.
No, certainly not. I think the description of a little bit tighter held together.
Yeah.
That's very apt. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. All right, so let's go back. Let's talk about the Neely family distillery in Royce and the involvement there. So,
Sure.
How did you get connected with Royce? And can you talk about the distillery itself a little bit? Or
Yeah, I mean, I'll do my best. You guys should totally have him on to talk about, because he's got so much stuff going on out there too, outside of just like being a partner in this as well. I had never met Royce until I tasted this liquid, and then that day said yes to this opportunity. Never met him before in my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't watch the Discovery Channel. I'm not like into like the moonshiner scene. Like I don't do the thing.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. Like
You don't watch?
I don't have time.
I'm so disappointed.
What, Matt? Do you watch a lot of Discovery Channel?
I don't have
but
TV.
I watch the
See,
moonshine
I stream
movies.
only. I don't have channels. Like I have like Netflix and HBO Max and things. But
I'm a big Moonshiners fan. We've had 2 of the Moonshiners
as you
actually
should
on our
be,
show.
own it.
'cause I
No,
love it.
that's amazing.
It's
They're
my-
a hoot.
It's my guilty pleasure. So
Go for
I
it.
love watching this show.
I love that. I love this journey for you.
That's like saying bless your heart.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
I really do. I'm happy,
Bless
like,
your
because
heart, Mark.
I can see your genuine like enjoyment in your face, and I
do.
love that.
I love it.
But so the day that I met Royce, obviously, so like never met the person before, only know what like Nate and Matt had told me about him. They're like, this is some of his like first stuff that's actually coming to like full maturity. Like here's kind of a little bit of a backstory on him. And like I kind of then knew like the family backstory and like 11 generations and all that good stuff. I had expected him to be entirely different than he was, just based on a lot of the personalities that I have met in whiskey that aren't part of large companies. They tend to be like, they have to overcompensate for the fact that they're not moving cases, and it's like an ego thing. I don't know.
Sure.
Royce like handed me a million samples and was like, what do you think? And I was like, you've never met me before, but I'm a very honest person, and this could be weird for a second. It might be uncomfortable, but I'll do my best. And I was flat out honest about a lot of stuff, and he was like, okay. And then we just sat there and picked through like the difference in the production from batch to batch to batch, and how this ended up this way or that ended up that way, and like it just clicked immediately. He is so humble, and he is so open to feedback, which a lot of people in his position would not be.
Sure.
And I just thought he was amazing. And then Becca, his wife, is like my new soul sister.
I was gonna say, I think I heard earlier today that you may have gone hat shopping.
Yes, we got custom hats done together.
Custom hats.
That's what kind of besties we are. We have custom hats
That's
together.
what I heard. Yeah,
Look
that's
at
awesome. Matt, we need some custom hats. You know what I'm saying?
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know if I can match your style though.
Oh man, but that's great.
I just pictured you. You need one for the car, apparently, and you need one for like regular everyday life.
Yeah, that's right.
And they're very different
Oh,
moods.
very
They're
much.
gonna be very, very different hats, right? Yeah. I let my secret out. Matt,
I love it.
on a turbo.
I love it.
But that's really cool that you met him and obviously had a very open conversation with him and just kind of grew from there, right? So
Yeah.
now, but you're also partnered with a couple other guys that are involved with it. So can you talk about that relationship and how you got together with them, how you met them?
So Matt and Nate both are part of the 5280 Whiskey Society out in Denver, Colorado. And so I had done multiple events with them under the umbrella of the other place I was working. And I remember being at Breckenridge Hog Fest, which is this like bourbon and bacon festival in the middle of the mountains. Yeah, it's like, does it get better?
Count me
than that?
in.
Exactly.
Count me in. Please.
And this guy came up to me with a bottle of birthday bourbon after I did like a tasting seminar, and I was like, oh, like he wants to sign it and then he's going to go sell it and like do whatever. But he's like, I know this might be weird, but I just have been saving this. I knew you were going to be here. I would really like to sit down and pour you some of it and just like drink it with you.
Yeah, very cool.
And I was like, whoa, this is a total, wait, like wires were like frying in my brain. And I was like, okay. And we sat down and sipped, and I was just like, this is what it's about. This is what whiskey is supposed to be. This is the moment,
very
you know?
cool.
So Nate and I were good friends, and I'd go out there. We joke about it. He and his wife live out there, but they don't go out into the mountains all that much. So we joke and say like their yearly exercise, they come out and like force them to go like skiing or hiking or whatever. And like, no, they're just really great friends. So Nate, on one of those trips, we went cross country skiing, and he was sharing with me in the car on the way back, like, we're going to do this project. Like, we are going to start like sourcing whiskey, and like, we just want to do things differently. We don't just want to build another brand and then sell it. We want to actually encourage that same like camaraderie, that same fellowship, that same moment of just like sharing product. And I was like, oh, okay, well, have you considered this? Have you considered that? Have you considered that? And he's like, what? And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
As a friend, here's some things to think about. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And so that was already established. Matt is great. He's our brains and numbers guy, like 100%. We could not be here without him. And we're all very different, but we get along very well. So it's fun. It's a very different culture. No one's like,
right.
It's different. Like our team outings involve going to like Willie Nelson concerts and doing whatever. It's not like, I don't know. It's just, there's no PowerPoints involved, you know, like it's just.
It sounds like heaven. I don't know.
It's
Matt.
amazing.
Yeah. There's a little less corporate team building going.
Yeah,
no
versus
trust falls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's
exactly.
no Teams meetings. There's no video conferencing, maybe, or maybe there
We
is.
have
I guess there is
meetings,
because
but we
I guess
also
you kind of
just,
have
like-
to, right? Because you're
And now it's growing, and now we're like, oh. Now it's that moment that you're talking about where you're like, oh, there's all these other things that you have to do.
which is a great problem to have, right?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it's got to be good because it obviously was a surprise. I mean, it's a shock when you take that leap of faith and you wonder, am I going to fly? I mean, am I going to fly or am I going to just kind of crash? But you guys seem to be flying pretty well so far, which is really cool. Knock
on wood. So far, so
knock
good.
on the fake wood table that we're recording around.
It counts. It looks like it.
This will definitely work, I think, for the night. So, it's funny because we are at the Hotel Distil and we're recording in the lobby. Everybody can probably hear the background noise. So at 7:33, they do a toast because 7:33 is military time for 1933, which is the year that Prohibition ended, right? So they pass out these nice little glasses of old fashions, and they invite everybody to join them in a toast to celebrate the end of Prohibition every night. They make it with JTS Brown, and JTS Brown. This is the hotel is actually the old building where JTS Brown was originally made, I guess, here in downtown Louisville. I look at Jackie like, Jackie, can you confirm that?
Not made, but housed.
But housed, okay, yeah. So JTS Brown was housed here, so they pay homage to that brand with the cocktails. So they are actually handing out different drinks. So we actually have drinks to participate in their 7:33 toast. I don't want that to interrupt our podcast, though. Or maybe it should. I don't know.
It should.
Yeah, it
Let
should.
the people enjoy it with us.
Let the people enjoy the toast.
If you're at home right now, pour yourself a mini JTS Brown Old Fashioned really quick. Hurry, it's coming.
Hurry.
We have 1 minute.
I was going to say, it's actually 7:32. We're almost there, right?
Yeah.
So we should encourage everyone to pour a little mini cocktail. These glasses are, by the way, that they gave us. These are really cute little glasses, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're adorable.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever seen these type of glasses. So
Oh,
they're
wait,
ringing
there
the
it
bell.
is.
There you go, right?
All right, welcome everyone. So, here we are on the Louisville historic location of JTS Brown.
All right, so I don't think everybody can hear what he's saying, unfortunately, but that's okay. He's just talking about the fact that they're on the historical grounds of the JTS Brown Distillery.
So, in honor of that, every night at 1933, aka 7:33, we celebrate the repeal of prohibition.
I imagine there's a lot of people that were just like in the lobby that are very confused why they were handed a drink out of
And I
nowhere.
was like, hey, but look at them all. They're all celebrating. Cheers to everyone out
Cheers
there.
all, yeah.
Cheers, you guys.
Yeah,
And
cheers to you guys.
Yeah, cheers to you guys.
Yeah.
Can we clink glasses
Yeah,
or will it be?
it needs to be a clink.
Yeah,
There's
we
a
need
clink
to clink
involved.
some glasses. There you go.
Absolutely.
Thank
Got
you,
it.
Jackie. There you go. All right.
All right,
Cheers all.
Okay.
that is JTS Brown. I haven't had an old fashioned in a long time.
So, are you a fan of
Interesting.
cocktails or not?
Yeah, I always have been, but it's totally different now because obviously this isn't a product that's priced for cocktails, nor volumetrically speaking, it's not out for like well placements.
Right.
So I really haven't been drinking much. I say that, and in my mind, I just rewound from the past 4 days on that trip to Oregon, and I'm like,
I was gonna
"Are
say,
you a liar?"
I saw your pictures on
Yeah,
Instagram, Jackie.
we all
over the
know
last-
that's not
what-
true.
What have you been doing the last 4 days, right?
God, just living life, and just breathing in the ocean air.
Oh, but that's
Seaside,
awesome. So,
Oregon.
if you don't follow Jackie on Instagram, I encourage you to do so. It's always fun to see
Comedic relief.
your adventures and things that you're involved with. But that's great to see that because obviously, now it's so important. I'm an old guy, and I've learned as I've gotten old that there is a balance between what you do for work and what you do for life. When I was younger, I didn't realize that, and work was the most important thing. You work hard, you do your thing, you do what everybody expects you to do. You make money, you blah, 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 the success, et cetera, whatever. But as you get older, I think you start to realize that there's a balance that you need to figure out. So, they're giving out other goodies
nice.
here. So what do we got here? Pins?
Pins.
Very nice.
1933 forever.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Forever.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm
Jackie,
good, thank you very much.
it sounds like you have reached that equilibrium, or you're getting to that point. It sounds like.
Yeah, and BF was always really good about work-life balance. I will give them that. It was a bigger brand. It was a wider spread brand, so there was more demand on it. So there was a lot of pressure on it, but they were always really good, like with their vacation policies and just being able to, like, if you're like, no, really, I need some time off, like they would do that. I don't know. It's different now.
Now you're on your own. It's like, wait, vacation days.
Well, because I feel like I can remove myself from work now when I couldn't before. So
Sure.
even when I'm off work, I'm still at work. I would go out to a bar and still order Old Forester, which like I just ordered Old Forester in Portland and was like, this feels weird.
Yeah.
But I'm drinking it because I actually like it, not because I'm being paid to drink it. But who's paying for this drink right now? Why do I have to pay for my own drinks now? That's not how it's supposed to work.
Can I put this on the company? Wait
Right,
a
there is
second.
no company card anymore. So I don't know. It's different, but I a long time ago discovered the necessity for me of being outside, being alone. I am not an introvert, but I am a person that requires just the balance, like
Sure.
when you have to be on and when you're around people and like
Right.
constantly go, like it's okay to hermit a little bit.
Sure.
And so I can do that all the time now.
Yeah,
I
which is
actually
when we
probably do it
recorded
too
our
much.
prior two shows. You're like locked in the security of your own place with your bottles around you. I mean, I don't think we did. No, one show was at home. One show, I think, was she at work? I can't remember.
Was I?
I
was
don't
thinking
remember
you were at
either.
home both times, like by yourself,
Maybe.
just doing your thing, right? So
Yeah.
it's like very nice to just kind of chill and hang out. Two guys coming into your your space, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, come on, let's do this.
And then, when episode 4 comes around and we're going to go to
You're
do
on
a
top of
tasting on a 14er.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely, yeah.
You guys just call me in. Just remote me in. I'd be happy to join from there. So
It'll be good. We'll get to connect with nature, connect with you, Mark, kind of just have our moment.
I think that we should do a progressive altitude tasting of the same product, but every 1,000 feet to see the difference in the notes and how it changes.
I think that's a great idea.
There's
and
a
I
whole
think
thing
you
going
and
on.
Matt should knock that out.
Let's just hope we don't start at sea level and go to like 14,000. I'll be
No,
done.
we won't.
I'll be
We won't.
done by the time we get to like 7,000
I will
feet.
cheer you guys on the entire way from afar.
Can we get you like a megaphone that you can just like shout up
You
the
guys
mountain?
are doing great.
You got this.
Hurry up. I'm getting cold.
I'm cold. Hurry, finish. All right, speaking of finishing, let's wrap up round
Okay,
2 here,
okay,
guys. I
okay.
think we've done a good job on this one. So, and we got the toast in as well, the 733 toast, which was a lot of fun. Jackie, thank you for participating in that with us as well. And we
I'm
appreciate
happy.
We appreciate the hotel having us here, Hotel Distil, allowing us to record because we are in the lobby. Obviously, everybody can just hear there's the noise and people walking by and looking at us like
There's some stairs.
they're like, "What are you guys doing over there?" So it's kind of fun. I enjoy it. So, all right, let's take a quick break, get a word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back with more with Jackie Zykan, the master blender from Hidden Barn, in just a minute.
Three Chord's line of whiskeys embody the spirit of creativity. The whiskey is a true collaboration between producer and composer Neil Giraldo and master blender distiller Ari Sussman. The Three Chord team of expert blenders, coopers, and sensory professionals have developed a multi-step process they call Perfectly Tuned Taste. This process begins by carefully selecting the finest bourbon and rye whiskeys from Kentucky, Tennessee, and Indiana, and then blending them together. Find out more about the whiskeys and distribution in your area at www.threechordbourbon.com.
All right, everybody, welcome back for the third and final round of the Bourbon Life Podcast, coming to you not live. We're recording tonight, but we're at Hotel Distil.
Oh, wait, are we recording?
We are recording. We're
Is
not.
We're
This is
recording
on?
live.
We
This
are
is on?
live. We are together. Is it live or is it Memorex? I don't know, but we are together. But
Wait,
this
your
is not-
microphones are on? Mine's not on.
God, just see what I have to
turn
deal
mine
with
on.
Jackie every week. This is the way. Anyway,
Matt, stop being mean.
Sorry.
stop
There you
being
go.
a bully.
See,
You're such
I got you. I'll stand up for
Thank
you.
You're such a bully, Matt. Anyway, welcome back to the third and final round of the Bourbon Life Podcast. I'm here with my former friend, Matt.
That's right. Your ex-co-host, Matt. He's back for round number
Replacing
3.
him with Jackie Zykan next week.
That's right.
From here on out, Jackie Zykan will be the new podcast co-host of the Bourbon Life Podcast. Anyway, Matt, how are you doing tonight, man?
Hey, doing great, Mark. How about yourself?
I was doing great until, just a few minutes ago, but that's all right. No, I'm doing great. I'm having a great time tonight. This is a lot of fun. We've never had this experience. We are in the lobby of Hotel Distil over here in Louisville. This is a lot of fun. I'm a people person. I love to people watch. I don't like to interact that much with people.
Have you eaten at the restaurant
Yes.
here? Oh my
Is it
gosh.
awesome? Yeah. It's pretty amazing. My wife and I came over last month, I think it was, a month before last maybe, and had a wonderful dinner here. It was insane.
So
The
it's
food, the drinks,
insanely good.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a beautiful hotel. It's really cool down here, right on Whiskey Row, man. I mean, you're right in the midst of everything.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're on the Bourbon Trail or you're just coming to Kentucky to check everything out, Hotel Distil, I think, would be the place to be. And the Repeal Steakhouse is a place to have a wonderful meal. But we are here tonight, and again, like I said, with my former friend, former co-host Matt.
Yep.
Recording. Matt, you want to tell everybody who we have with us tonight?
I'd love to. We've
Yeah.
got Jackie Zykan
Yes.
from Hidden Barn. She is the master blender, and we are tasting through everything.
We are, yeah, almost everything.
Almost
We've got
everything.
Batch 1 and 2. We're kind of close. We're halfway there.
Yeah. We're tasting through half of everything.
There you go.
Yeah.
2 out of 4 ain't bad.
No,
as
it's
Meatloaf
not.
said. No, it's 2 out of 3. So we're pretty close. we're close. Damn
And
it.
we just had a cocktail because they
We
do
did.
a toast here at 7:33 every night.
Every night, and I cannot believe, because we're hanging out here talking. There's very few people. There are people kind of walking through, going to the restaurant, and then all of a sudden, it's like all these people start showing up and sitting down, looking at us, and it was packed in the lobby.
Yeah, people coming out of the woodwork.
It was kind
I
of,
know,
hey,
I love it. But it's like the Peabody Ducks, you know what I mean?
Oh,
but
yeah.
with
Yeah,
alcohol,
right.
and it's like, this is much better.
This
I
is
love a
much-
duck, don't get me wrong.
Hey, look, I love a duck as much as
Love
the
a
other
duck.
person, but I love bourbon more than ducks.
They need to have ducks that bring the bourbon out.
Like a Saint Bernard.
Like a Saint Bernard with a barrel around its
barrel,
collar,
the
but it's
duck.
an old fashioned.
Oh,
This is getting weird.
Excuse
That's
me.
okay. I love it.
I need to talk to the manager. We
Have
have
you
a
ever
we have a
considered
suggestion.
ducks for your bottle?
Can we get some ducks with some barrels and things? Oh my God, we've gotten so far off topic.
Every time, but that's okay.
How did that even happen?
I think the duck is actually my spirit animal.
The duck?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
A
I
duck?
don't know. Like,
You're a great swimmer. I mean, Jesus, dude. Honestly, you're amazing in the Ironman, like crazy swimmer.
I just always thought the duck was my spirit animal because on like the crappy and the nastiest of days, you always like look outside. The ducks are the ones that are having a good time on the water, splashing around and enjoying life.
is that you?
Oh wow!
I always feel that I try. I don't mind like being outside in the elements and in the crappy weather. Like that's kind of
You do. That's
where I
the
shine.
truth, man. That's your jam, especially
Anyway.
if you're running 140.6 miles. Like give Matt a little bit of rain, and he's a happy dude to go out and run a marathon.
I love this, and I'm putting like a lot of thought into this right now because we just had a conversation on that trip of like what everyone would. We didn't term it as like spirit animal, but I'm like, if you were an animal, you would be blah blah blah. And I never got assigned an animal because we got to where we were going before it happened.
Huh.
But I'm curious,
your
anyone out
friends?
there listening to this,
What would you be?
what
Yeah.
would Jackie be? If Matt's a duck. Not that it's related here. Like Matt can be his own duck.
Right.
I don't think I'm a duck.
What would you?
I have no idea.
In your own mind, what would you think?
I think of myself as being a human, which to me is an animal, so I don't consider a different animal assignment. I don't know,
Oh.
maybe a wolf, the lone wolf.
The lone
okay.
wolf.
Yeah.
I was a wolf pack of one. Are you gonna read a little speech? I was a wolf pack of one, and then I met you guys, and now
I don't know.
you are part of my wolf pack.
I'm curious. I'm curious to what strangers in the public see me as.
I see this night going downhill from here because now we're a wolf pack of 3. No, I'm just kidding.
That's okay.
What was your animal, Mark? What do you think?
I don't think I have a spirit animal. Maybe like a water buffalo or something.
No.
Oh, I don't really know that I have a spirit animal. I don't know.
Everyone does.
A shark?
You do.
Maybe?
No.
No.
I think you're like a grizzly bear. I do. I
That's-
really
that's
do
what all the
because
boys
like
say.
God. Well, like after like picturing you like in your moment in your car like raging out
Yeah.
to corn, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, so there's two sides to this, but like
That's
Yeah.
right.
part of
Right.
it's like I just want to like cuddle with
You
you,
wanna
you
give me a
know,
big
but
hug. I
like
get it.
you
Right.
also could like crush my skull.
That's right. You just don't want to
There
mess
you
with
go.
me, but at the same time, it's like he looks so cute and friendly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
See?
I get it. Okay.
Yeah, own that.
I can deal with
That's
that.
a pretty epic animal to have.
I appreciate that. Jackie Zykan says I'm a grizzly bear. I'm going to go with that.
You just own it.
Yeah. I think that's a good idea. Oh my gosh. Are we
That's
talking
okay.
whiskey?
Don't edit
No.
any of this out, by
I'm
the way. I will
not.
be so
No.
upset if you
I'm
remove
not.
our
No.
spirit animal conversation.
No,
from
this
the
is going to be
podcast.
in there. This is part of what drinking with friends is about. It's like this conversation and where it goes. So
Yeah.
I have no problem with this. This is a lot of fun. So, sometimes our podcast, Jackie can just be a little, I don't want to say dry, but
Really?
yeah.
Me?
No, not you. I'm saying sometimes.
No, he was
the
just like saying sometimes,
What?
Jackie, our
No,
podcast can be a little
sometimes
dry.
our
Oh, not
podcast-
sometimes Jackie can be dry
sometimes
on our
Jackie
podcast.
can be a little dry, but tonight she's like really.
Thank you for the clarification. I was very
Anytime.
insulted for a
Anytime.
moment. I was like, I'm trying to be
It's
honest.
like Jackie's grabbing her hat. She's out of here. I'm taking my bottles and screw you guys.
Peace.
Jackie's
No
done
more.
for the night. So, no, sometimes, the podcast, it can be a little cut and dry. You just kind of ask questions and you try to have a conversation. And sometimes people are open to that. Sometimes they're not. And then you kind of stick to the script. The notes are good, but it's great I think it's great when the show gets off topic.
I
and you
can't
just kinda,
wait.
You kind of just go where you go, right?
Episode 4.
Episode 4.
Yeah.
Well, you
The
guys are.
fourth that I do with you,
Yeah.
I'm bringing the notes. And it's going to be a surprise to you. We're going with my notes.
Okay.
All
Now
right.
wait a second. I thought the fourth episode was going to be you guys climbing a mountain
You're gonna have notes though. You're gonna phone in.
and drinking.
Well,
Okay.
the 5th episode will be the mountain because we have to wait until
Next.
after
Okay.
snow melts.
So the fourth
Unless
episode.
we
that's
really
right,
want to
yeah.
go
So the
ham
fourth
on
episode
it.
will be.
Yeah, it's not
yeah.
fun.
It'll be in the basement.
4th episode in the basement.
In the basement. in
Jackie
Lexington.
notes.
Jackie comes,
All right.
brings her notes, and we do the show in the basement.
Okay.
I'm all about. I think it's going to be great.
I think
Yeah.
it's wonderful.
Yeah. I'm all for it.
Tomorrow, what are you guys doing?
I have no plans. Nothing. I have no life. So
I love it.
no,
Neither do I. It's okay.
That's what happens when you get old.
You wanna go drink? Sure.
But yeah, I'm all about it. You come to Lexington, let's go out. We go to OBC Kitchen. We can go wherever you want to go. The
I have
Bluegrass
never
Tavern.
gone out in Lexington.
Are you kidding me?
No, I know, and it's right there. I
What
go to the
the-
Gorge all the time, and Lexington is just like
You
another
come right-
exit on the way to the Gorge. I never
Yeah,
spend time
you
in
gotta come-
Lexington.
you come right by there, right? Because you have to
Yeah.
go 64
Yeah, exactly.
to the Mountain Parkway, and then you go down to the Gorge from there.
My
right?
intentions are get away from
Yeah,
people, not
yeah,
to go into
not to go into
people.
people.
Yeah.
I get it.
You know, so
But you need some grub. You need some good time.
Yeah.
So man, next time you come back, next time you come through, because you're there all the time. I see your Instagram. I don't stalk it. It just shows up, Jackie.
not okay.
It's
So
random.
the last time I went was a very traumatic experience. A group of girls and I rented a cabin, and we had this guy. He was hiding in the woods, like waiting. It was a whole. I'm not gonna go. Yes, but it's if you are out there and you're a lady and you like to spend time outside by yourself, like just be mindful.
Wait
It's
a second.
scary. It can be scary.
Did he know? Was it like intentional, or was it just?
This is going to be part of the Jackie notes for
Oh.
episode 4. It's going to get weird.
The cliffhanger just got even more
Yes.
cliffhanger.
We're
Cliffhangery.
doing episode 4 like tomorrow, right? We're all about this.
Down.
Tomorrow night we're
Totally
recording.
down. But yes, I have gone to the Gorge many times. I have not been in a while, but I do need to. I need like a
Have you gone
a
to Miguel's?
redo.
Matt used to
Every
work at
time I
Miguel's.
go to the Gorge, I go to Miguel's. Every time.
There you
Matt,
go.
what pizza do you eat from Miguel's?
Oh, my go-to was always like was it spinach, sweet potato, chicken, bacon, feta.
Both of us are making faces like,
What?
what?
Yeah, usually that, and maybe some tomato.
What?
Time to time, yeah.
What kind of pizza is that?
That's the everything pizza I get.
Yeah,
I don't
everything.
know.
No way.
like,
There's over 50-something toppings on that menu
sweet
list.
potato, feta, spinach.
Usually,
Shenanigans?
black bean, chicken,
Black bean chicken.
Okay, I'm gonna make
black
this
bean,
really easy
comma,
for
chicken,
Oh,
period.
You didn't space that out. I've been thinking they make chicken out of black beans.
I know. I was like, is it like a sauce? Like what? Is
I
it
mean,
a
in this
sauce?
day and
like
age,
is it
right?
like
I mean,
a vegan thing. I mean, it's cool. I'm cool with that. But
Don't look at me.
Sausage, pepperoni,
oh,
all day long. Like
There you
go.
classic, standard,
Yep.
basic B over here.
we are gonna do the podcast in the basement, and we're gonna get
No.
Goodfellas pizza.
We're gonna do the podcast at Miguel's.
We could go to Miguel's. Matt, you can hook that up with us, man. We're
Will
going
they
to Miguel's.
remember you? Are you allowed in there?
Yeah.
Did you end on good terms?
Matt's been
We'll
kicked
see.
out indefinitely, unfortunately, from Miguel's.
Maybe we'll start at the basement.
You can
Episode 6 will be at Miguel's.
Miguel's
Yeah.
episode 6. Episode 4 is in the basement, and we're
Episode
gonna
5's on a mountain.
We're gonna 5's on the mountain.
It's just going to be
I
like a
will-
progressive road trip, I think.
I will.
It's just a separate show now.
But I
Yeah.
won't be there. Wait, what was the show you're going to start with? Bourbon and
With Nate?
was it Nate that you guys
Yeah.
going to start something? What was
Whiskey
it called?
Nate?
Yeah, but you're going to call it something Bourbon and something about rock climbing. or
I don't
mountain
remember.
climbing. Damn it, I can't remember now. But another guest, they were like,
That's a tricky blend to mix alcohol with dangerous outdoor
Yeah,
recreation.
all right, yeah.
"Who
Maybe
cares?
not.
Just do it." You don't have any listen. You can put that on Instagram. Look, we're drunk. Woo. I'm
Yeah.
just kidding. You don't want to do that.
I like to promote
No.
responsible
So
So
outdoor.
I
I've
need
never
to-
been rock climbing. I know that I would enjoy rock climbing. My New Year's resolution this year was to finally start getting into it because Climb Nulu, like right down the road,
Yeah.
is something great. I can take my son with me and he loves it. He absolutely loves it, but I haven't done it. I don't know why. I'm scared.
This guy right here, he's a rock climber, former rock climber, but I'm sure he can get back into it quite easily.
What does that mean, former rock climber?
Well,
like,
he
because you're
just-
not on a
just-
rock right now climbing?
Because
Like, it's
he's
a
not
former?
living in the gorge like he was for
Yeah.
5 years, where he was rock climbing like every day. So I say former.
Every day.
Something like that, yeah.
But are your hands like soft and like
They're
They
pretty,
are now.
pretty soft and
He
soapy
lost
now.
all
yeah.
of
He
your-
gets manicures every day.
Yeah, as you can tell. Yeah.
it's just his next chapter, and that's
Lost
okay.
all my
I'm here
cal. I
for
become
it.
soft.
Episode 7, we can like train up to get to the rock climbing.
Nice. It's like the rock. We're gonna have a Rocky montage of.
Oh my gosh. We should talk about the whiskey.
So
What do you think?
excited. Oh yeah, there's whiskey by the way.
Batch 2, what do you think? Should we
All
talk
of
about-
that is
let's-
all of that getting edited out.
No, it's not. This is
This is
what,
these are the we're gonna let people know what's to come. Like that's okay.
I think this
Let's
is
talk
a great
about what's
show.
to come.
It's about what we're doing and how we're enjoying life. And that's what people want to hear about, and how you're just having a conversation, right? Matt, what do you get? Taste and palate. Taste and palate. Palate and finish, whatever.
It's got that great oily viscosity right up front again. We're getting like the water slide effect.
Water slide.
It's coming back.
The water slide of whiskey. The whiskey water slide.
It's nice. Like there's a sweetness. It's like caramel corn to me. Kind of comes across in that way. The caramel corn comes through with it. But there's also more of more herbs with this, like more mint, more of almost like like root beer type sassafras.
Oh, yeah.
Type note. I don't know if I'm the only
Have
one.
you ever
doing
dug
that.
up a sassafras root and made sassafras tea? I'm just curious.
I have had sassafras tea, but I myself have not personally harvested the root.
All right. When I was a kid, I used to do that. I mean, I don't know why. I have no idea. Matt just made me think about that. I mean, when I was a kid, I used to go out in the woods and dig up trees and take the roots and go home and make sassafras.
No, it's important to focus
tea.
that it is the root. It is not the leaves. The leaves are toxic.
Sure. Yeah, but
Yeah.
the root, it was great. I love doing it. Of course, it was all the sugar too. Maybe that helped. Anyway, Matt, the spiciness on this one, it comes across much. To me, it comes across. There's a sweetness at the initial taste, but then there's a spiciness that rye really shines through. The proof point on this one was 110. I think it drinks more like a 110. The other one to me, Matt, I think you said it tasted a little hotter. To me, it didn't, but this one does.
See, I almost feel the opposite. This one, like kind of.
This one drinks lower.
Yeah.
The other one drinks higher for sure.
All right. Well, then you know what? It's 2 against me. So
This one doesn't have the heat from the finish that the last one came with. There's just that really nice mouthfeel, the nice coating leaves.
To me, it does.
Leaves away
but
the entire time.
What do I care? What does it matter? It doesn't.
Great. No, this is great. Every palate is different, and that's why we talk about it. If everyone
Even if
tasted
you're
the
wrong,
same
Mark,
shit, nobody would care.
Even if you're wrong, Mark, it doesn't matter. Just
You're
tell
never
us,
wrong.
Tell us what you think. It drinks a little bit warmer than 110 to me.
It's the spice. There is a cumulative spice with this one
Okay.
too. Like
So it's
every
the spice
sip you
that
come
throws
back
me
to.
off.
The other one was more of like the finish was a little bit thinner. There was a little bit more ethanol forward on the finish of the last one. This one, it is 100%. It's just actual spice. It's so viscous and so sweet in the mid palate that it almost tastes like you threw simple syrup in it, like when you're sipping through it. Like there's a moment where you're like, wait a minute. No, I assure you it didn't, but I like this one better than the first one. This one is my favorite kid. Yeah.
Is it? Okay. No, we don't have batch 3 with us, but
Batch 3 is even better, which
Is
is
it?
exciting
Okay.
because then like they're just getting better and better, right? As I start losing my fear of like disappointing the world, I'm coming into my own, and
I don't taste banana in this one either, Jackie. So
No.
I think there's a problem. There's
no
something
banana
wrong.
here.
There's something wrong.
This is off.
Can we
It's
just
terrible.
Can we just in the show and go to let's just go to episode number 4. All right, let's just end this one now, and we'll just.
I am gonna now no, you know what? I'm not gonna say what I was about to say.
No, say it.
I'm gonna try my hardest to find barrels under this brand umbrella that have banana to them, so that at least I can shotgun approach the drinkers out there that are like, it doesn't taste like Old Forester. It's wrong. Like, no, it's just different.
It's different. It is. I mean, it's a different brand. That's what, like I said, our guest earlier today that we recorded with he made a great point. It's like, it's different. I mean, don't go into it expecting that you're going to drink the other brand.
Yeah.
Because you're not.
And don't go into any brand
Right.
expecting that it's
sure.
going to drink like any other brand. I
Yep.
think like that really like messes people up. They get these like flagship markers in their mind, and then everything's compared against it. Like, appreciate it for exactly what it is and its
Right.
uniqueness.
Yeah.
That's why there's no.
And this is a whole different beast, being pot distilled, wild yeast,
Yeah.
Yeah.
small 7-barrel batches.
Yeah.
Sure.
This is a completely different
Complete
approach.
opposite.
Yeah.
And then you said you're coming off the still at
127.
127. So I mean, a low proof point coming off the
Very much
still.
so.
Yeah. And then you're going into the barrels
110.
at 110, which again, I mean, from an industry standard, a lot of people go in at 125 just because it's cost effective, less barrels, etc.
Thank you, 1980s. That's when everyone started doing it.
right.
The barrel is different too. Keep in mind, like before, every barrel was made the same. It's a little bit of a mix, but the barrels that were used for these two, for all the batches of Series 1 at this point, you're looking at Zach Cooperage barrels, and these have been
Okay.
seasoned for 2 years.
Oh, okay.
So it's stripping out a lot of the acid on that for sure.
Yeah. So the aged outside, dried outside. Is that
The stave, yeah.
the staves are?
Yeah.
Very nice. All right. Yeah, because I was going to ask you about that. What about in terms of like toasting and char?
I said it before with Old Forester because like BF makes their own barrels, but they don't have they don't have a char level system. They just talk about how long it's been charred.
Okay.
Cooperage to cooperage, it's different. There's no industry standardized char level. So if anyone's out there like, oh, I really love char level 5 whiskey, like from where? Like, what do you mean? Because that means nothing to me. It's not industry standardized. I know it's weird, right?
Can I sound stupid? Because I've been doing this for 2.5 years.
What?
And I don't think I didn't know that, Jackie.
In the same way that small batch isn't standardized.
Okay,
It can be,
that makes
that's
Which-
what I mean. Like that's the perspective.
but I knew that. But I'm thinking that there were standards. Like when you say char level 3, I just thought everybody kind of had everything from.
We all just agreed on what that was going to be. No.
Matt.
Man, there's a lot of
You
variants.
didn't know that? Okay, thank you for backing me up.
That's a really good point to touch on. It makes a lot of sense because
Okay.
whose 3 is whose
Okay.
3,
Right.
and how are you
Someone's
getting the
3,
fires?
Someone's
Like,
4, is someone's
yeah,
6, is someone's
30
like
seconds
whatever.
at this cooperage and 30 seconds
Okay.
at that cooperage are like 2 completely different beasts, right?
It's interesting.
Oh my God. I think everything I've done for the last 2.5 years now has just been a farce.
My life has been a lie.
It's like I don't even know what I'm
Oh
doing
my
now.
God, the bewilderment in your face
I
right
know.
now is
I'm
just
like,
classic.
I'm shocked. I mean, because I do not. I mean, sure, I learn new things all the time, but nothing that is quite that. I mean, that's a huge thing in the industry. I mean, I never knew that, Jackie.
Well,
Never
I
knew
mean,
that.
let's really, if you want to untangle this knot real quick here, like cooperage to cooperage, there's consistencies, there's inconsistencies, it's kind of all over the place. So even if everybody kind of collectively has had this unwritten agreement that like char level 4 means 20 to 30 seconds on fire or blah, 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 like
Right.
they're not all aligned on whether they're toasting or not toasting beforehand. What is the
Which-
ambient temperature beforehand? Because that makes a big difference. Because you ever tried to start a campfire with cold wood, it's much harder than if it was warm outside.
Yeah.
Moisture content plays a really
I
big
don't
role in
camp.
this too. Like
Just I'm gonna throw that.
you will, don't worry. Episode 7, camp trip.
Yeah,
We got this.
it's going to be
Right.
intense.
Oh
There's
my
a lot
gosh.
of variables. And
Oh,
then
Jesus, Matt.
untangle it even more. You had to.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
had to.
Wow.
You've got northern wood, southern growing wood. You've got different seasoning levels on all of these. You've got it's just so many different things. The world of barrels is just
Crazy. Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah. so.
I feel like my whole world's been turned upside down now, Jackie.
No, why?
Because I'm just like
This
the
is
whole.
why we do this. So
Yeah.
we all learn together. This is why.
I
we all
appreciate-
discover together.
I appreciate you learning me something tonight.
No.
no, I do.
I
It's
had
like-
to be learned at some point
Okay,
too.
all right. But I was like, that's just crazy. I mean, I had no idea. No
And then
idea.
half the time you don't even know what cooperage they're using.
I keep looking
because-
at you, Matt. Like, just back me up.
Why?
Make me feel better.
It's true.
All right.
I'm in the exact same boat. I did not know.
It's an
And
exciting
it
night.
makes-
We're learning.
It is.
It
We're
makes
learning and
complete
drinking.
sense. Like, how do you standardize the burning of wood? Like, every piece
A
is going
different
to
production yeah,
react differently, even within probably the same facility.
correct.
No
Correct.
2 pieces of wood are going to burn the exact same.
And how are you gonna check it? Like you're gonna shove
Yeah,
a
who did-
flashlight like in the bung hole? I know. Sorry. There was no way around that one
Yeah.
at all. Scratch around in there, see how deep the
That's-
char level.
That's episode number 8.
So number 8.
After the
Look
intense.
inside the
After
bunghole.
the camping trip.
Yeah.
Or that
Yeah.
could be part of the camping trip.
It
I
could
don't know.
be.
You never know, right?
We have such a bright future ahead of
Oh
us.
Yeah.
my goodness.
Look at us.
Yes, definitely. Let's get back to a question. So,
And the notes.
and then
the
let's
notes.
go back to the notes
Notes,
because I feel
please. Notes.
more secure and comfortable. And it's my safe space, Jackie.
cool.
You know, as a big grizzly bear,
You are in a safe space.
I need my little safe, my safe space where I can go
That's okay.
hibernate and do my thing
It's okay.
in the safe space with the nuts. All right, so let's see. I was going to ask you something else, and now I can't remember what I was going to ask you.
Aw.
Single barrels, are you guys doing?
Yes.
Okay.
We actually are. We've done a couple of them,
Okay.
just like to kind of test out our logistics on the whole process. But I think come January 2023, so this upcoming January is when you're going to see that program really opening up. It won't be massive, right? We
Right.
don't have massive distribution anyways, but there will be some.
Nice.
There was actually a barrel in the last blend that I worked up that going through them, I was like, damn it. I cannot, this barrel could never, it has to be alone. It has to. Like, there's no way around it. And
Yeah.
that one has been sold. It's actually going to be going up to Steve Akeley's single barrel shop up in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Sort of like a hometown
nice.
love moment of
Yeah.
me going, this is the most perfect single barrel I've ever tasted in my entire life.
Send it home to mom and pops.
There you go. Yeah, very very nice. That's really cool. I'm glad you're able to do that because I know it seemed like when we had you on the show, we talked about single barrels at your other job. I mean, it seemed like that was your passion.
It's my baby.
Yeah,
I love
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
That's how I've learned most of the things that I have learned of barrel-to-barrel variants is just getting in there in the warehouse, sample by sample by sample, seeing the different flavor associated with the condition of the barrel, seeing all, it's just, you have to live through it to learn it sometimes.
Very cool. So let's talk about the future. What's going on with the brand? Look at that. Man, I wish we were
We had video.
I wish we had video. Jackie's facial expressions are like,
I'm going to get Botox tomorrow. I can't handle it. I can't. I should never play poker.
oh, no, you should never play poker.
should never play poker.
Never at all. No.
The future. So you will see more stuff coming out, right?
Okay.
We've got
Yeah.
more series coming. They'll be totally different, but I'm not going to leak any of that information, obviously.
Are you sure? We're the Bourbon Life Podcast. Do you know how popular
That's like
we are? I
episode
mean,
9,
you
man.
know,
Like episode 9,
there we
we'll
go.
talk about that.
We're on that. All right.
Because that's like middle December at this point, the
I was
way
gonna
we're
say,
going
the
here,
oc-
like
the
knocking
oc-
these out.
You could be an octo. What would you call it? I don't know what you call
What's
her. Is it
9?
Octo.
Did you almost
you're a
just say
three-
octopussy? He did. He almost just said octopussy.
But I was thinking, I'm like, because you're like a three-peat, right? You're the trifecta. So I'm trying to think of the words for 8-time repeat guest. I'm like,
I don't know.
Octo. Yeah. So
At what point am I no longer a guest and I'm just
you're just like a
on the show?
On the show. I think next week we could arrange that.
Okay.
Yeah, as
Matt's
soon as
got-
I get fired.
Matt's-
So you actually
Matt's got other things going
starting
on.
No,
immediately.
that's- Matt has to stay.
Okay. All right. Matt can stay. You can
Putting
be on
that
the
in my
show.
rider. Matt has to be a part of the show.
That's fine. Now, do you need a whole bowl of brown peanut M&Ms? Do I have to go through and pick out all
Only the light brown ones that they don't make anymore.
Yeah.
How about that?
So
Remember tan M&Ms?
I have
Bring
to,
them back.
Yes, I have to get on Amazon and find those.
No one
and
likes
then-
the blue ones.
No.
hell
No,
was
but-
that move?
no. What, I mean, brown M&Ms is chocolate, right? So you want the
No, but like there's 2 browns. Remember?
there's dark brown.
There's dark brown and
then
a
there's
light brown, and then they got rid of the light brown and put blue.
Yeah.
And
So,
that was just not right.
so now to get you on the show, I'm going to have to find the light brown M&Ms. Challenge accepted, Jackie.
Oh, what were we talking about?
We were talking about the future.
whiskey.
What's
the
going-
future. That's
yes,
right.
What's going on? Yeah. Tell us
so-
what's going on with you, Jackie.
We've done a couple small batches. We've done 3 small batches. We've done a Madeira finish. We've talked about doing more finishes. There will be a weeded coming out
Okay.
pretty soon here. I still need to put the batch together for that one. That's exciting. What else was there? There's some other finishes, but I'm kind of like hesitant because I haven't made up my mind.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say things. What is that face? What is
No,
that
it was
facial
like somebody just
expression?
walked. I'm sorry. Somebody.
Oh, you were people watching.
People watching, and it was like a woman in a wedding gown that just walked through the lobby from the restaurant to head to the restrooms in a full wedding gown, like walking, holding her train behind her. So I was just like, am I really seeing that? And I really did. So I'm sorry. I was listening to you, Jackie, but I was like,
She got married.
she got married. I know, but
Or it's like cosplay. I don't know. Like
cosplay. We're doing cosplay, and I'm in the wedding dress. That could work. I mean, whatever's.
whatever blows your sail, you know?
I can't. I'm sorry. I was distracted, Jackie, but I was listening
It's
to your
okay.
answer. I promise.
It's okay.
I was listening to what you had to say. So I will ask you this. So
Yes.
so Royce is obviously a partner with you guys,
Mm-hmm.
and you're working with the distillate from the Neely family distillery. Will
Mm-hmm.
that always be the case, or is there any set standard or just whatever you guys choose to do?
Series 1 is completely Neely. And
Okay.
Series 1, so it's not to say that like the series will be like we launched 1 and then we never saw it again, and then we did 2. Like they will coexist,
Okay.
right? So it's going to get real complicated before it gets simpler. Like just hang on, people. It's going to be crazy. But so Series 1 is basically honoring the process that Neely is using, which is this very, I don't know, like I feel like we keep using this word like rustic, but like I don't mean it to be rustic. Like,
Sure.
you know what I mean? But just like very labor intensive.
But
How about that?
the family history was in moonshining,
Sure,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, there is a standard that goes along with that. I mean, there's a history that goes in moonshining, so that is a standard. So it is a labor intensive process. It's
Yeah.
different than what you see in a multi I don't want to say like a factory type of distillery, but I mean it's totally different what they've done, what his history, what his family history is, and I think what he does probably it pays homage to that.
Correct. No, 100%. And I think that there's a culture behind it of sort of like, this is what I want to get, this is what I want to do, so I'm going to do it anyways.
Right.
It's not necessarily this is what I should be doing, this is what everyone else is doing. It's like, oh, okay, this is what we're going to do today.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah. I think that's really cool. So there
will be more series coming.
Right. And it could be other.
That might not be that.
You never know, right? We're not going to give out too much information. That's going to be episode
10. That's where we're at. We're at 10 now. I'm surprised I even remember that.
Episode number 10. You're doing a great job. You're doing much better.
My notes.
Than I am.
I have my notes.
Yeah. Thank you for having notes, Jackie. I appreciate that. As a note provider myself, I really appreciate that. So, well, I guess we're kind of at the end of the podcast. It's kind of sad because I think we could just sit here and drink and talk and have a good time most of the night. Some of the night might not be. I don't know.
Most of it for sure.
For sure.
Yes.
So
How
Matt,
weird can it get?
We can. You know what?
You know?
Yeah. I mean, you don't know.
You don't want to do that.
Yeah. Episode 11. How weird can it get with Jackie Zykan?
That's a totally different show. It's After Hours
After
with Jackie
hours,
Zykan.
After Hours.
Like,
there you go. Oh, yeah. There you go. The Bourbon Life After Hours.
that's right.
That sounds like something that should be on Cinemax or something.
No, why did your mind go there?
No, I don't mean that, but I don't mean it that way.
There will be a lot of
gracious.
bleeps
Yes, that's
added
what I meant.
into the editing process.
It would be.
for sure.
It would be. It would be a mature audience. The language and everything else, which we don't care.
The funny thing is that out in the world right now exists archives of what happened as the podcast went on and then everybody got drunker and like the shit that came out of my mouth. Like, trust me, somewhere, like there is a show that can be pieced together of archives of every single,
Yeah.
After Hours segments.
I get it. Well, we'll end it before we get to that point.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
And that'll be episode 11.
12?
11. Well, that's going to be the After Hours.
I think you just need to, we'll collect it today and you just save those for After Hours specials.
Yeah, just bunker them.
With bunker. Yeah. I got it. Man.
There you go.
That sounds good. All right. So before we wrap it up, because I'm going to wrap up this episode.
Okay. Yes.
So before we wrap it up, Matt, anything you want to add?
Jackie, thanks so much.
Ooh, I didn't know what he was going to say. He was like, Jackie. And I was
I know
like,
it's like, yes, Matt.
Yes,
Yes.
Matt.
I know it's like,
What?
I was like
I
on the edge
perked
of my
up.
seat. It's like,
Nope, just thank you. We really appreciate
Wow.
you taking the time with us. Great to hear the story.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Dang it, Matt.
Happy to be here.
Jackie,
Yes.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
We appreciate your time. No, thank you so much for coming down here and hanging out with us at Hotel Distil. I know it's kind of a different type of location to hang out.
I love it.
It's a beautiful place, though. And it's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to admit, I was a little bit nervous as to how everything would go.
Really?
I didn't know how it would work out. But I
Is
think
this your first public recording for the show?
Actually, no. Liquor Barn's a sponsor.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So we recorded actually live at Liquor Barn, and we had an audience, like our friends and everything else.
Oh my.
So we recorded. They have a tasting bar, so people were hanging out drinking, and yeah, so it was fun. Brad Williams, you know Brad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Brad was our guest. So we hung out in Hamburg in Lexington. We had a good time. Other than that, though, I think this probably is our first. We haven't done anything else in public.
Yeah.
Right? We've done them on location, but not out with the general public. So this was our second effort.
I like it. I think there's
This
a
was
nice
fun.
energy to it.
I do
you
too.
know?
I mean,
It
this was
keeps
a
it
lot of
light.
fun. Obviously, we had people. I don't know if they were waiting for the free booze or like really interested in what we were doing, but they were here earlier checking us
They
out.
were,
Right?
and they left because
I know they left
Because the free booze
free
left
booze
too.
left.
free
Yeah.
booze left,
So
and then they disappeared. So
they're pretty transparent in that regard.
That's okay. But you know what? I appreciate them being here at least. But it's been a lot of fun. So, Jackie, I appreciate that. Anything you want to add before we close it out? Did I already ask you that? Goodness gracious.
you did not.
Okay. Before
But
we wrap it up.
We're at that point in the notes.
like-
So hey,
I got my pen.
if you're out there and you can't find Hidden Barn, there's more coming, but just it's small, and like as we sell it, we have money to buy more barrels. So like this is very like tiny. Keep that in mind, everybody. Just disclaimer. But you can be helpful and supportive if you follow us on Instagram, please, so that you can keep track and like that way you know what's coming, and maybe you'll be able to find bottle or just keep up with our antics. I want to say the Hidden Barn Instagram is hidden_barn. if you're interested in me and my pour life choices, Jackie Zykan, just all one word.
Your
on
Instagram is great. Like I said,
So-
I don't stalk it, but it just pops up in my feed, and it's like, oh, where's Jackie? It's like, where's Waldo? It's like, where's Jackie this week? Oh, look, she's out climbing this mountain or doing this or doing whatever. So
You know,
I live
I don't sit
vicariously
still.
through you and Matt, the two of you guys. I live vicariously through you guys. Exciting lives.
Thank you.
No, it's a lot of fun. It really is. So
I'm so tired.
I'm just so tired. I just want to take a break for just a little while, if I could, please. Right?
Can't stop, won't stop. It'll be fine. But no, thank you very much for having me on. It's been a blast.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Jackie, as our first three-peat guest. I feel like we should have like had an award or a plaque or something for you for being our first.
Well, we toasted her at 7:33.
We did. That's right.
There was a
We
toast.
did. We planned
We
that
ordered a
especially
toast for her.
That's
Yeah.
right. Thank you, Matt. We did that. We planned it just for you.
It was
Jackie.
executed very well. It didn't seem like it was for me at all. It was very subtle. Thank
Well,
you.
you know, we didn't want you to feel awkward about the whole thing.
I
you know?
appreciate that.
Yeah,
You're so
we
sweet.
do what we can. You know, that's what we do. That's how we roll, right, Matt?
Yeah.
Jackie, thank you very much for being
Thank
here
you.
with us. It was a great time. So, guys, definitely check out Hidden Barn. Check out Jackie on Instagram and Hidden Barn as well. And check us out as well if you want to. We appreciate that. We appreciate your listenership. We also appreciate all of our sponsors. And again, we want to thank Hotel Distil for allowing us to come over here and hang out with them today to record in their lobby. This was a lot of fun. It's like people watching over into the restaurant. It's just been like, it's been a great experience. I could probably do this every week and have a lot of fun doing this. But if you have any suggestions for the show, please feel free to email us at thebourbonlife@gmail.com. You can send us a private message on Instagram or Facebook. You can join our private Facebook group, The Bourbon Lifers, as well. We'd love to have you as part of that. If you have any suggestions, just let us know. And if you feel so inclined, please leave us a rating on your favorite podcasting platform. We would really appreciate that. And with that said, I'm going to wrap it up and send us home with our tagline, which is, may your glasses always be full, and may you keep on living the bourbon life.
Thank you for joining us for this week's episode of the Bourbon Life Podcast. Our mission at the Bourbon Life is simple: to share our passion for all things bourbon with you every week. And we'd really love to hear your thoughts on how we're doing. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at The Bourbon Life. You can also contact us by email at thebourbonlife@gmail.com. And you can always find us on your favorite podcast platform. If you have a moment, we'd love it if you would rate us and give us a review. So until next week, we hope your glass is always full and that you keep on living the bourbon life.